welcome to the third episode of the Talkative Thursdays. This time we are going to dive deeper on learning mobility and these opportunities to learn away from home. I'm Carmen, I'm the Campaigns and Audiovisual Officer at Eurodesk Consulting. And today I will be here with Felix from Eurodesk Germany. And we'll also have other young people that will share their experiences that we will introduce in a bit. So thank you everyone for joining and for sharing your experience and also to listen from others. First of all, I would like to introduce you what is Eurodesk because maybe some of you don't know us yet. And we are a youth information network. We are all over Europe and we are in 36 countries. During this month of October, we also have a campaign that it's time to move. I will show you a bit more. I will share the screen with you so you can check because we have this website in which you can get informed about everything that we are doing. We have a map with all the events that are happening near you. For example, you can go to your country, to your region, and even to your municipality and take a look on what is going on during this month. So I really encourage you to check on it. Also, you can take part on one of our social media challenges that, of course, it's free for everyone to participate. And also we have 2 online escape games in which you could participate even if you cannot join the in-person events. And the Talkative Thursday series, as I said, this is the 3rd episode, but we still have one more happening next week on working abroad. Don't miss it. And something else that we have for those that want to submit their designs or feel artistic, you can join our t-shirt design contest. And this is a really interesting contest for you because your designs could be part of next year's visuals. And also you can win some prizes. This is it about Time to Move. I encourage you to follow us on social media. Of course, I would love that you join the activities that are happening near you, that you get informed, and that you ask your national and local Eurodesk multipliers or information centers. And well, after this, I would like to give the floor to Felix. Thank you very much for being here today. If you would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Carmen, and good to see every one of you. If you would like, please put your video on. It's always nice to see some beautiful faces. So feel welcome. Yeah, everyone, welcome to today's session. I'm Felix. I'm working for Eurodesk Germany. So you're part of this really big network. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with all of you. I'm going to be your facilitator today, and I'm guiding through the conversation. And yeah, after my introduction, I will also ask many questions to our participants here. So we have Abrish here, we have Arvid here, Fatima, Sarah, and Samantha. Yeah, I hope I forgot no one, and you have the great opportunity to ask them questions about their experience also at the end. So feel free to write in the chat or raise your hand. I think we are 90 people, so it's also fine to use the mic. And yeah, now about Eurodesk Germany. I'm just gonna put our website link into the chat, but it's in German. Yes, but we also have one website available in English actually. So if you ever would like to have an experience in Germany, then you should visit this website and you can get informed how to come to Germany. But besides that, it's all about Europe and going abroad also to many different countries besides Germany. And at Eurodesk Germany, we are actually answering a lot of requests, like around 55,000 a year from young people who actually want to go abroad. So it's mainly about, we are helping them to find offers for opportunities abroad, like internships, volunteering programs, youth exchanges, or also travel advices. And what we are offering is free guidance on those ways to gain actually international experience. We are part of like 10 people in the office, in the main office in Bonn, and we have around 55 partners or multipliers in Germany who are actually in the local areas and they are helping young people there. Yeah. So whenever you're thinking about a short adventure abroad or also a longer commitment like volunteering or studying in another country, we are here to help you with every step. And also in your countries where you are from, there's Eurodesk. So please reach out to them. Yeah. If I would like to know also something about you, so it would be actually interesting to hear from you. Where are you from? And also, maybe you have a country you always wanted to visit or to live in. So feel free to write in the chat, yeah, your country and maybe also where you wanted to go or if you already went somewhere. So it's also interesting to hear your experience and see if, yeah, if you already went abroad with your program. So yeah, I'm just waiting a bit and for your answers. Nice, there's the first one. Okay. Yeah, we have Czech Republic here. That's nice. We just had our network meeting of Eurodesk there. Uh, would like to travel to Germany. Okay, that's really nice for me. So feel free to go on our website, come to Germany, or also after the webinar, you can reach us, us an email, and yeah, we would like to help you. Then we have Spain and would like to go to Croatia. Okay, that's really cool. Latvia and visiting Japan. It's nice. Okay. Feel free to write more in the chat. I will continue already a bit, but that's already nice. So thank you for sharing. And it's really great to hear actually about all your plans, maybe for traveling and experiencing life abroad. And now I would like actually to dive into our topic. So I think you are here because you're interested in learning away from home. And this is what this is should be all about today and how you as young people actually can take advantage of opportunities to promote mobility and active participation across Europe and also beyond, I think. Um, yeah, so I think when we are talking about learning away from home, we are not just talking about classrooms, so just not about school or something, but we are also talking about actually bringing the world in your classroom. So experiencing different opportunities, new experiences abroad, also new cultures, getting out of your comfort zone, getting into the learning zone and make connections for your life. And I think that's exactly what the programs like Erasmus Plus and also Discover You are helping you with. And we will dive into those programs while asking um, our guests today. So we'll talk a bit about Discover You. We will talk about also Erasmus Plus traineeships and Erasmus Plus Youth Exchange and so on. So feel free to ask your questions about those programs. And as you have heard at the beginning, we have this campaign, Time to Move, every October, and we are actually celebrating 10 years anniversary. So that's really nice now. And I think all of these programs are part of a bigger picture, and that's what we are trying to highlight with the Time to Move campaign, because it's all about spreading the word on mobility, opportunities for young people like yourselves, and also letting you know about what's out there and how you can get involved, because there are so many opportunities. And I think that brings us also to the topic of youth participation. Um, yeah, I think when you think about youth participation, you might think about joining a student council or youth conference or even engaging in political movements. But it's also about taking part actually in international programs like Erasmus Plus or Discover You, because I think they help you become active citizens in Europe. And yeah, I think it's a really nice experience. Good. Yeah, if you have taken part already in a youth exchange or Erasmus Plus program, also feel free to share in the chat. And with that, I would like actually to continue and start with our first guest today. Yeah, so let's start with you, Abrish. Thank you for being here. You are part of the Youth Exchange Excellence in Hungary, and maybe you can tell us about yeah, your experience actually, how you get involved, how did you come across the information, and what was the process for you for getting involved. And also, of course, we like to hear from your all over experience. So please feel free to start.
Right. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Abrish from Hungary. And yes, I've participated in a few youth exchange projects, actually. I think one of the first one was in Estonia, which was very interesting for me because I'm from Hungary. And I remember it was April and snowing in Estonia, and it never snows in April in Hungary, or well, it haven't yet. It was really a great experience. For 1 week, we came together from 5 countries, 30 young people, and we learned about entrepreneurship. We were having a lot of fun. We visited some places nearby, but we were also exchanging our cultures. And yes, how did I come across this information? I was part of a local organization that was doing something for young people, and I was also um, collaborating with this organization. Later, I was also doing some youth projects basically for these young people. But anyway, I was in this organization and they posted about going to Estonia for a youth exchange. I didn't know what a youth exchange was, but it said like it's going to be co-funded by the program. So even I can go even if I don't have a lot of money. And so I applied and I got in. But then later I learned that there are even like, because I was lucky because I was part of an organization, but then later I learned that in Hungary we have these some open calls as well where they are looking for young people, and there are certain Facebook groups. Well, in Hungary we have Facebook groups, but in other countries they have some WhatsApp groups or Telegram or whatever. And also now I learned that you can also just like in every country we have this Eurodesk network, and you can approach Eurodesk and ask about organizations that organize youth exchanges and send people for youth exchanges. So probably that's also a great way to learn about them. And then well, maybe a quick tip from my side is don't worry if your English is not like a super high level or something. When I was participating in my first youth exchange, I could hardly formulate proper sentences, but I could understand. But it was I was not confident at all to talk. Since then, a lot of things changed, and because of participating in these projects. But yeah, that's maybe one tip. Don't be afraid of not having good enough English. If you understand me now, you are ready to go on a youth exchange.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Maybe you can also share a bit more what was the impact actually it had on like your life afterwards. So maybe also how it shaped also, I don't know, your studying or whatever you did afterwards. Didn't have like, was there an impact?
Well, if I start, it's gonna take very long. But in short, for sure, it had a very good impact by improving my English skills. That's an obvious thing. Seeing other cultures, because growing up, I didn't go travel to many places. I couldn't, but with this program, I could travel to some places which really opened up the world for me. I learned about other values, and I think that gave me a lot later on. I learned a lot about teamwork, working in international teams, and actually later it resulted in me starting some international studies, working in international programs. Also, I learned about setting goals for myself, how to monitor those goals because it was part of this project. And then later I also went to other youth exchanges and I learned other skills. I learned how to communicate better, how to solve conflicts, how to speak in front of an audience, for example. And later it even turned into, well, I got very passionate about this. So I also started being more active in local organizations in Hungary. And we also started organizing some youth exchanges later on. So
Yeah.
I went from participating in youth exchanges to also trying to create this opportunity for other people, because I think it's a great opportunity.
No, that's really impressive. Okay. It's really cool that you're now doing that yourself, actually, and you're sharing the experience you had already. That's really nice. Just wanted to ask again about, you told us that you also got the information from Eurodesk, but mostly via social media and so on. And so was it easy for you to apply, or was it, yeah, difficult to, I don't know, write the application or something else, or what you had to do?
I think it was surprisingly easy at some point after finding the information. Maybe the hard part is actually coming across this information that it exists, but once you know about it, I think you can get in usually quite easily. Well, usually there is an application form, and then people are interested about your motivation to take part in such a project. And then it's important to choose really a topic and a project that you like, and not just maybe the travel destination, but also the topic of the project. If it's about environmental sustainability and it also interests you, or you don't know about it that much yet, then probably you can write a good motivation why you want to take part in this project. And then hopefully they are going to choose you. So once you know that it exists, I think you can get in some programs after some time. And if you don't get accepted for one program, don't worry, there are thousands each year. Yeah, apply for more and you will get in for sure.
Thank you, Abrish. I think that's a really important point to point out. Do what you're interested in, because I think there are so many projects for your hobbies or what you're really interested in, and you can always find something in this area. So yeah. Good. Thank you for the moment. I will come later back to you. And of course, you can prepare already to ask questions to Abrish if you're interested. And with that, I would continue with Discover You. And maybe you have heard about the program because the deadline was yesterday, I think. Yes, to apply. So Discover You is all about getting a free ticket to travel through Europe by train. And I will ask first Arvid and then Fatima to tell us about their experience with Discover You. So maybe you can start with how did you find out about Discover You, and also explain shortly the program maybe for everyone. And then was it easy to apply for you, how you take part in this program, and what you've also taken away from it? So any tips also for other participants? So Arvid, maybe you want to start.
Yeah, so I'm Arvid from Sweden. I'm 19 years old and I participated in the Discovery program in June this summer. So I heard about it from siblings and the friends, all the friends who had participated as well. I found it a bit hard to know when I was supposed to apply because there are 2 rounds. But other than that, it was really easy to just check out in all the details and apply. And then I got a pass to travel around Europe. I did for 1 month through Germany, Czechia, Slovakia, and Slovenia, and everywhere in Central Europe mostly for 4 weeks. It was really fun. But I do think the most important part isn't just the train pass, but I think the community as a whole. So I found a travel group through Facebook with other Swedes that wanted to travel the same path as me. So through that group, we managed to find a really tight connection. And also on the way, on all the places that we traveled to, we found other people who we could meet up with, and events that were happening through community aspects. So I think that part is a very important aspect of that discovery. It's not just to get a free travel pass to get this opportunity to go abroad, but to bring a community as a whole, to foster a more like European identity and more connections that I still have today.
Okay, thank you, Arvid. Maybe Fatima, you directly want to continue, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Fatima. I was born in Germany, and I live in Turkey right now. When I first heard about Discover EU, I was sad because I was not able to apply for it. But I let my friends know about it, and they applied. When I turned 18, of course, I applied, and but unfortunately, I couldn't get the ticket. But I was selected from reserve list. Then I suddenly changed my holiday plans, like because it was on April 2024. And then I solo traveled for 4 weeks on June. It was such a good trip. I was by myself, but I really enjoyed it though. It was always my dream to travel alone and world, but I was so young for it. And then I encountered with this opportunity, and it really encouraged me to go for it. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you, Fatima. So just that you know again about Discover EU. So it's yeah, if you're interested, it's for actually 18 years old who are getting 18, who wanna travel a bit in Europe and get to know other countries. And as Arvid also mentioned, it's a nice community building. You can meet a lot of other Discover EU travelers on the way and connect with them, or meet up in different cities. So there are possibilities to have those meetups where you meet other travelers and discuss about your experience. And yeah, it's especially fun because it's also a short-term program. Like you can do it in your holidays, summer holidays, or when you have like 2 or 4 weeks time for traveling. And yeah, you get this free train ticket, and I think Arvid, that's right. Like I think 10 times you can travel with the train. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yes. So and all you have to do is ask some questions. Yeah, I think there are always 4 questions about the EU, something where you have to guess. And then there's also one fun question. Yeah. So it's quite easy, I would say, to apply for it. And yeah, if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask here, or also contact your local or your Eurodesk multiplier, your local, or the Eurodesk in your country, and they will give you a lot of information about Discover EU. Yeah, just Arvid, you said you've been traveling with other Swedish people now. Yeah, so was it easy to get to connect with them via the Facebook group and so on? And yes, how did it work?
Yeah, so in the Facebook groups, you can make a post that just says what I want to travel with and where I'm from. and then other people is searched by the countries, or you can just check through the list, and you can see what dates they're traveling to and what they want to do. And then I contact them directly. We made a Instagram group just contact us directly, and then we managed to we were complete strangers, and then we met on the same train going down, and then we did half the trip. We did 2.5 weeks together. They had to go back to work, so I did by myself the rest 2.5 weeks as well. So it was actually really easy, and I feel like you can always find someone who's at the place you're going to. You can always just post where you're going, and then other people know directly how to contact you. And we also managed to find people who were locals in each of the places, and I still regularly check the Facebook group to find people also who are coming to Stockholm, and I can just show them around and have a good time. So it was not just meeting travelers, but also locals at the time. It was really fun for both, and just it was really easy actually to have this community, because everyone is around the same age and everyone is traveling, and so I feel like this was a very warm and welcoming community. Yeah, the Facebook group, the official Facebook group of Discover EU.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think that's really nice because everyone is in the same situation, traveling around Europe. So I think it's really, really easy to connect and to find friends or travel companions. So that's really cool. Yeah, thank you so much to Arvid and to Fatima for sharing. I'm also coming back later, and I would like to continue with Sarah is here to talk about Erasmus Plus traineeship. So maybe you can explain us what is Erasmus Plus traineeship, and where did you do it, and what was your experience there, and was it easy to apply or difficult, and where you found the information?
Right. Hi everyone, my name is Sara and I'm from Italy. I am currently doing a 4-month Erasmus Plus traineeship here at Eurodesk Brussels link in Brussels. For those who don't know about the Erasmus traineeship program, this kind of program supports and allows high school students and students enrolled in bachelor or master's degree, as well as recent graduates, to have a traineeship experience at any workplace abroad. I think, personally, it represents a great and enriching opportunity for our personal growth, as well as for our CV, honestly. And I already knew about the program, but in my personal experience, my university, which is the University of Bologna, had a crucial role, because I found the call on its website, and there I could also find all the information I needed to submit my application. So that was kind of easy. First, I had to autonomously looking for an organization and a workplace where to do my internship, and I sent my CV and my motivational letter, and then I did the interview. And once I submitted the application on the university website, and that was really easy, since my university also organized webinars in order to be more informative about how to submit application, how to look for workplace. And so yeah, I would say that my university was really had really a crucial role in this.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Is there as you get the funding also through Erasmus Plus, can you tell us more about the grants and so on, maybe for young people who want to do that, what they can accept,
Yes, every participant of the Erasmus Plus traineeship gets a grant, basically, in order to provide for accommodation expenses, as well as every kind of needs that he might have. And once again, it was kind of easy to receive it because it's something really connected to the to the program. So yes.
Okay. And would you like to do it again? Like, do you think you would do it again and also, I don't know, somewhere else or where? Yeah.
Yes, honestly, I'm considering applying for another Erasmus internship program maybe after I graduate, because it's really a very nice opportunity, and definitely I would definitely do it again.
Okay, cool. That's really nice to hear. Okay, thank you for sharing your experience. Then we have one person missing, and that's Samantha from Latvia. Yeah, she is part of Europeers and also part of ESN. ESN is the European Students Network, and I think they are celebrating 35 years anniversary this year, right? Yeah.
Yes. So I'm Samantha, and before when I was like 19, I've started to be involved in all the programs that my colleagues mentioned already, like youth exchanges, European Solidarity Corps, and so on. But it's not permanent, so you kind of start to look for the opportunities back in your home country. And Erasmus Student Network was one of the organizations I found here in Latvia that could give me the opportunity of feeling this internationalization here back in Riga. So I started to volunteer them because I also wanted to meet other people from abroad, because the Latvians are not the most fun people to be around. So we were trying to make some funds from foreigners here and also helping them. So because of ESN or Erasmus Student Network, we started to cooperate with other organizations here in Latvia, and one of them were also Europeers. Because our goals align. We are here to help to promote mobility programs, exchange programs. We are trying to provide support, also knowledge about these kind of opportunities for the other youngsters. So we started to collaborate. We did Erasmus in schools and other nice events. And then they asked me if I would also like to join Europeers as one of their members. And I said, well, yeah, why not? It's better to volunteer in 2 organizations rather than 1. So that's how I ended up in Europeers. So yeah, the goal of the organization is to help people to find opportunities, because I was very lucky to find and had people who were doing the same. So by involving in these kind of organizations, it doesn't have to be only these 2, for example, it can be whatever. You're also helping other people to learn more and doing the multiplier effect by yourself, because that's the most important goal of all the ideas of the activities and so on.
Okay, thank you. So when I'm a young person, I want to contact Europeers. How do I do that?
So Europeers usually has a webpage in your country. There's also europeer.org, like the international webpage. You can find if Europeers have organization in your home country. So basically how I got involved, I just wrote them an email saying, hi, I would like to join. And they are really responsive. So they always let you know what's the process. In order to become a full member, you usually have to do some kind of activities or learning opportunities about non-formal learning, but those are organized by the country and by the organization. But usually an email is always fine. You can also ask for Eurodesk help. They can also help to guide you if there is an organization you can reach out to.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. You can also maybe send the link into the chat so everyone can already see. Yeah. So thank you so much to all our speakers for sharing your stories. It's actually really incredible to hear about the diversity of the experiences we have and how these programs actually impacted each of you in I think in really different ways as well. And for everyone who listened, I hope you're feeling inspired to explore these opportunities. If you have more questions about these opportunities, I would like to also open the floor to you. Yes, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat or raise your hand. And yeah, but I can see already from Sophie one question. So probably this one is for Sarah. So how did you find Erasmus Plus traineeship? Did your university help to find the right organization to train at and help to get settled, or did you do it on your own?
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, I had to look for the right organization by my own. So yes, that part of the process is autonomous, and I also had to look for my accommodation here in Brussels by myself, because for the university Erasmus traineeship, I think that's how it works. But if you are in high school, I think that your school is supposed to help you finding the organization and the accommodation, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Thank you, Sarah. I hope that answered your question, Sophie. Yes, are there more questions from the participants? Yeah.
Yes, sorry, so I cannot find where to raise the hand. So I'm a very young person and I'm trying to write a project currently, like it's about helping people and stuff, but I'm having problems with getting accepted to places just because of my age. And maybe is it possible to do this kind of thing without an organization, and the opportunities to learn abroad, for example, participate in training courses who are a bit longer term without an organization, and being like 14 years old? And is it possible for my project to actually get accepted and funded?
So is there someone here who would be who could give an answer to Ola?
Maybe if I understood correctly, you are 14 and you want to write Erasmus Plus youth exchange and training courses. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm already working on it. I kind of found partners, like a person who is 19 years old, but that person is from another country, and currently we don't have an NGO that we can rely on to do it. So, is it possible for us to actually get accepted, since we are kind of in search for organizations still?
And is it, I'm not sure I understand correctly, is it for going and participating in projects or organizing your own projects?
Actually, both, because
Both.
we are having a lot of trouble finding NGOs, and because of our age, like, how do you deal with it, maybe?
I think, so from participating perspective, the program is open from 13 to 30. So you are eligible to participate in both project categories, like youth engineers and training courses. But of course, the reality is that most projects are for people above 18. But there are projects open for people under 18 as well. It's just usually in those cases, the organizations collaborate more strongly. So it's very important to get in contact with an organization that you think that they do some youth exchanges for people under 18. As for writing your own project and organizing your own project, I think, well, the program really wants young people to do this for other young people. So that's great, and that's not a problem that you are a young person. Of course, there are legal limitations. So until you are 18, there has to be someone else who is going to take some legal responsibility for certain parts of the project. There are two ways to do it. Well, as you mentioned, there is no organization. So one thing can be like opening an organization, but the other thing is that you can just become this so-called informal group of young people. It's a specific format for the Erasmus Plus program in the European Union. It's this informal group of young people. But even for that, I think it's needed to have at least 4 or 5 people between 18 and 30, but maybe later Felix can help me out. And then if that's done, then you can apply for projects. In some countries, you still need a backing organization because of financial guarantee. But in some countries, you can do it just like that. And one of the members, probably the the representative of this informal youth group can receive the money on a separate bank account or something. Yeah, so that's a much easier option than opening an organization for sure. So I can definitely recommend that if it's a route for you, because you can do it actually in like one day. So that's a cool option.
Okay, that's very cool. And actually, if my country is a country which requires to have, a backing organization, is it possible for me to collaborate with people just from other countries and through the organizations from, well, in their countries, since I'm not a resident of their country? Like,
You can definitely collaborate. And for example, if you hand in well, maybe we are entering a bit technicalities, but it's possible. So for example, you can open an informal group in another country, and they can apply to their national agency for the funding. And you can open also an informal group with the help of some people in your country, so you can be sending partners. So that actually both partners are informal group of young people. I would suggest that it's good to involve at least one or two experienced organizations in the partnership as well, and then you will have a bigger chance of getting it approved, because then also the national agency will see that there are some experienced organizations and people, and there are also some newcomers. So that's like the perfect match.
okay, thank you very much. And about the finances that you said, so it's better to have a separate bank account of the leader of the project of the informal group, just to create it, well, where you're handling all the finances, if I got that right.
Finance it depends a lot on which country you are in, what you can do and how it works. So like accountancy, national agency rules, everything. So you have to research in your country about what's possible with finances.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Abrish gave already great answers. So thank you. And thank you also for the question, Ulla. I would also recommend to ask your Eurodesk in your country. Also, they are often connected with the National Agency of Erasmus Plus Youth. So where you can get the funding for the Erasmus Plus Youth exchanges. So I would recommend ask them, contact them about your questions, especially about finances, and when you are under 18. I think they can help you also if there are partners to collaborate with. Yeah. Good. Yes, I think we had some great questions and heard a lot about different programs. So thank you everyone for participating. If anyone has more questions as we go, feel free to keep them coming and we'll try to answer them as many as possible. And feel free to contact us also after this webinar. We have also another webinar. I think probably Carmen, you will tell about the next one. But with that, I would say a huge thanks to our guests, to Abrish, to Arvid, to Fatima, to Samantha, and to Sarah. Thank you for participating. And with that, I would hand over to Grazia. I think you.
Yeah.
Yes, Carmen. Yeah.
Yes, hi, I'm Grazia from Eurodesk Brussels Link. As we were talking about different projects and activities and way to participate, I'm here to introduce you our opportunity finder. It's called the Eurodesk Opportunity Finder, which is a platform, a website where you can find different programs available for you to take part and be involved and be active citizens in your life. So to participate in projects, to have an experience in another country, or to look for funding in order to implement projects in your local community, in your own country, or with other organizations and countries in the border regions. All the information is divided in 5 main categories. So you have the ones dealing with learning, so studying abroad, having trainings online, offline, or taking part, having scholarships, fellowships, Then we have the other one dedicated to volunteering. So of course, in there we can find the Solidarity Code, humanitarian aid, Interreg, international volunteering within the United Nations, and so many others. Then we have the ones dedicated to internships, so internship within the institutions and other international organizations and foundations. Then we have the area dedicated to participating. In this one, you can find a call for surveys, contests, prizes, or just participating, participating in events, conferences, worldwide. And then, of course, we have the call, the area dedicated to grants, because there are lots of projects that can be funded. So with the aid of EU sponsors or international ones. What I suggest you to have a look at it. Some of the programs have a gray top banner, so it means upcoming. So it means that the program is in standby, so the call is over, but it might be back soon. So just keep an eye, because in this period, for example, the call for proposal within the Erasmus Plus are over, so they are finished, but soon we will have the new calls out. The same goes with the Solidarity Core calls and some others. So this is really a way to get in touch with us, because it's here with the Eurodesk Brussels link, but we also have partners available and working on this platform. In fact, the programs are available in English, but also in other languages. And as well, if you go in the bottom of our webpage of the eurodesk.eu, you can also find the websites of our partners. So in other countries, you can also find national programs. So just don't limit yourself to the European ones, but also check the programs available in other countries. And as Felix was telling you, whenever you need a support to implement your project, or even starting from the beginning, get in touch with a Eurodesk officer across Europe, because we have an intranet where we communicate with each other and where we can help you further. Imagine you have a need to look for a partner, or if you are looking for specific information. Even if in a specific country we don't have the answer, we can ask our colleagues across Europe that they can help to find a solution for you. So do not limit yourself, and also get in touch with the national agency in your country, because they can help you to solve issues. And it's all from my side. Well, maybe I can also remind you that we also have a newsletter. So it's a newsletter dedicated just to young people. If you go on our website, you have on the top of the website a link to register to our newsletter, and in there we always send monthly a call for participating in different projects. And don't forget to also fill in our survey, a youth info survey that we have just launched, and it's you will help us to see what you need in order to help you to implement your project, or to have a mobility project in your country. So the survey is open to young people from the eligible countries, and it's not just open to people that had the chance to participate in a mobility project, but also to the ones that never had the chance to go abroad. So let us know what you need to help you have an experience in another country. And it's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Grazia, and thank you very much also, Felix, for hosting the webinar. I think it's a great moment, continuing with Grazia's opportunity finder, that she presented the opportunity finder, to present some video with the main opportunities of learning that are opening regularly. So I will share it with you, and that way you can have a general idea.
Are you dreaming of studying abroad but worried about the costs? Good news! The EU is funding many programs for young people in Europe and beyond. So please don't limit yourself. Studying abroad is an extraordinary chance to immerse yourself in a new culture and step outside your comfort zone. It will broaden your horizons and equip you with invaluable life skills. Let's explore some of these programs together and see how they can open up new opportunities for your personal and academic growth. You probably know about that one. The Erasmus Plus program provides an incredible opportunity for students to immerse themselves in a foreign environment, enriching their education and enhancing their employability. Whether you are pursuing a short cycle, bachelor's, master's, or doctor level degree, you can spend from 2 to 12 months studying abroad. There are also blended mobility options available. Financial support is provided to cover travel costs, living expenses, and special needs with additional aid for eco-friendly travel, making studying abroad more affordable than you might imagine. Interested in learning more? Each university has established partnerships with foreign universities. Reach out to your university's international department for guidance. They will tell you which countries you can study in based on your courses and how to apply. Scholarships. Many universities offer scholarships or fellowship programs to attract outstanding students. These programs are excellent ways to secure financial aid for studying abroad, sometimes at renowned institutions. University scholarships and fellowships often cover tuition fees, living costs, travel, and health insurance, helping students finance their studies abroad. However, each program has specific conditions and eligibility criteria. Before applying, check carefully what the financial support covers and what are the criteria to apply. On the Eurodesk Opportunity Finder, you can find various scholarships in the fields such as engineering, political science, journalism, media, and arts. Discover which one matches your interests. Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees. Are you searching for a truly international and prestigious learning experience? The Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees offer high-level integrated study programs across 3 different countries worldwide. The program is open to master's level students who wish to spend 1 to 2 academic years in another EU member states or partner countries. Students will receive financial support to cover the travel costs and visa fees and a monthly allowance to cover the living expenses based on the destination country. For all details, you need to check the Erasmus Mundus Masters online catalog to explore options and find application details. Discover EU. If you are ready to take learning beyond the classroom, Discover EU offers 18 years olds the chance to explore Europe by rail. Here is all you need to know. The program is open to all 18 years olds residing in the EU, Iceland, Liechtenstein, North Macedonia, Norway, Serbia, and Turkey. You can apply during the 2 application rounds held each year. When the call is announced, you can apply directly on the European Youth Portal. Successful applicants are awarded a rail travel pass and a Discover EU discount card. If you live in a remote area or an island, don't worry. The Discover EU is also for you. Extra support will be available. To stay updated and not miss out, sign up for our Eurodesk newsletter. Those are only some of the existing programs. There are many others, and you can discover them all on the Eurodesk Opportunity Finder. If you feel lost in all this information, don't hesitate to reach out to a Eurodesk officer in your area. They are here to help you find the right program, and they will support you through the application process.
So thank you. This video was really nice, Grazia. Thanks a lot for explaining us about the opportunity finder, also about these opportunities that are opening soon. And as well as you mentioned, maybe now they are not open, but they will open in some months or some weeks. And of course, thanks for your participation. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask questions. It's the moment.
I have some recommendations for the next participants of Discovery EU.
Of course, go on.
I really recommend them to learn more about the visiting an island country, because I went to Ireland and they covered my travel expenses. It was such a cool experience to visit an island country and learn more about the meetups. I participated one in Brussels. It was cool because I got the chance to meet with other Discovery EU participants, which all are at my age. And we had a lot of free times if you want to more flexible. And Arvid was also there. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you very much, Fatima, for sharing. And I think it's a really inspiring story. And of course, apply to it and don't discourage yourself. Keep applying to different options because there's a lot of things going on, and you don't have to be stopped. So you can keep applying for more things. And if there's any other question, if it comes to your mind a bit later, you can always write to us. You have our websites. You have also the information that we sent, that also Felix shared, also our guest shared with you. And please don't hesitate to reach us and to contact us. And thank you very much for joining this webinar. It was really interesting to share this moment with you and to hear about your experiences, to connect. I hope that this inspired you to participate in the programs, and that you will be a participant very soon. So thanks a lot, and see you very soon in the next webinar next week, same hour, on working abroad.